Hi, and welcome back to Panama for Real. Now, whenever a family or a couple are thinking about relocating themselves to another part of the world, along with their children, pets are probably highest on their priorities to make sure that they have a stress-free transition. Now, if you're thinking about moving to Panama, how are you going to bring your pets here? Today, we're joined by Marla Paul, who is a very experienced pet relocator. She owns a company called Pets Go Global. Marla, how are you today?
We're good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Welcome to the show. Marla, could you just sort of share a few details about yourself? How long have you been actually relocating pets for a living?
We started in pet kennels in 2010 and were asked by one of the major pet relocation companies in the world to see if we would start shipping pets for them. And about 8 years ago, we became certified pet shippers in Panama, and we've been shipping animals in and out of Panama ever since.
Amazing. And so I know from you mentioning earlier when we were talking that there's a lot going on at the moment, people leaving and arriving. What's probably the most common thing at the moment? Is it people coming into Panama or people leaving?
It's actually pretty much split down the middle right now. We get a little more coming in maybe because of retirees, but it tends to be cyclical. We have a lot of the Fortune 500 companies are based, their Latin headquarters are here. So about every 3 years, they're moving families in and moving families out and bringing families back in. And we've actually seen in several instances where pets we've actually shipped out for families, 3 years later, we're shipping them back in again. So that's been nice for us.
That's nice. So this is really about the three things that people should think about when thinking about relocating with pets. I'm sure vaccinations is one of those things. What are the vaccination requirements for Panama?
For Panama, we require standard, what we call a 5-in-1 for dogs, which is your rabies, distemper, hepatitis, lepto, and parvo. And the rabies vaccination should be at least 30 days old. If a pet has a vaccination previously and it hasn't lapsed and they've only had a booster, there's no need to wait. If it's been the first vaccine or there's been a lapse since the last one, then they have to wait 30 days before coming in. For cats, it's the 3-in-1, it's the rabies, the rhino, the kelso, and the leukemia.
Oh, okay. And what about other documentation? What are the requirements there?
Panama requires a health certificate from a certified vet that states that the pet does not have any contagious diseases, that the vaccinations are up to date, and that document actually has to be apostilled by the Panamanian consulate in the country of origin. If the country does not have a consulate, then it can be stamped by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in that country. But one of those two stamps is needed to definitely come into Panama.
Now, with apostilles, we did a program about this with a lawyer because a lot of people have never heard this term before. And it means that there are certain countries around the world that are part of a treaty, doesn't it? And they all, so that a frontline worker in a local government situation can recognize that a document is valid, they apostille it. Exactly. So someone in a Panamanian government office will see an apostille stamp on a document, and they know that document is valid. That's what we're talking about there.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if countries aren't part of that treaty, then you have to go, as Marla said, go to your local Panamanian embassy or consulate. Or what was the other option to apply directly?
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Not all countries have Panamanian consulates. So the first choice is the consulate. If there's no consulate, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs can legalize the document. So with their stamp and seal on it.
Yes, I had to get that done for my driving license when I changed from my UK driving license to my Panamanian one. So there is a process for that. Yeah. And what about are there quarantine regulations when you get your pet here from wherever you've come from in the world?
Panama does have a quarantine, but it's a home quarantine. They're not off-site at some premises, but we ask that it's a 40-day home quarantine. You're not to take your dog out, and you're not to mix your dog with other animals for just to make sure no diseases are spread. The home quarantine needs to be applied for a minimum of 3 business days before you arrive, and all the supporting documents, the health certificate, the apostille, copies of vaccination records, and copies of the owner's passport need to accompany those documents.
Oh, okay. And is there anything else that you would say is a must think about that you can think
plan
of?
ahead and plan for things. Panama actually accepts documents up to 30 days, dated 30 days in advance, but most airlines will only allow 10 days. So if somebody plans their documents 14 days in advance and then goes to get on the airplane, they won't be able to arrive into Panama. So just plan ahead, and if you need some help, we're here to help you. And that's the common mistake some people make, is that they think that the vets are only here Monday to Friday. Vets are actually on premises 365 days a year from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. to receive the pets. If they come in after 10, they will have to stay at the airport in the airport quarantine until the next morning when the vets arrive at 8 a.m.
Okay, perfect. I feel from this discussion that there's probably more that we can do in the future. So Marla, thanks very much for your time right now. I'm sure our viewers will find that really useful information.
And thank you for having us.
You're welcome, and talk to you soon.
Thank you. You too.